What you're about to hear isn't just another feel-good message about kindness and love. This is a journey deep into the human psyche, revealing a profound truth that Carl Jung, one of history's greatest psychologists, discovered after decades of studying the human soul. Have you ever felt that your kindness turns against you? That people mistake your generosity for weakness? That the more you give, the less you receive? If so, you're about to understand why. Let's begin today's lesson with the dangerous illusion of perfect goodness. Jung noticed something disturbing in his patients. Those who believed they were too good often suffered the most. In today's world, we've created an idealized version of goodness. Someone who's always available, never says no, forgives instantly, and constantly prioritizes others. Jung realized this version of goodness wasn't just wrong, it was dangerous. When we confuse kindness with self-sacrifice, when we equate love with the absence of boundaries, we become our own executioners. Jung discovered something unsettling. The more we strive to be perfectly good, the stronger our shadow becomes. That hidden part we deny and suppress beneath layers of forced niceness. Picture your kindness as a bright light. Society teaches us that to maintain this light, we must shut off everything else: our anger, our needs, our boundaries. But Jung saw how deeply flawed this idea was. True kindness doesn't come from denying who we are. It comes from embracing every part of ourselves. How many times have you heard that voice inside whispering, "Enough," only to silence it because good people don't think that way? How often have you buried your frustration or pain, believing these feelings make you less worthy? Every time you reject these parts of yourself, you don't become better. You become more fragmented. Let's talk about the path to integration. This message isn't telling you to abandon kindness. It's calling you to transform naive kindness into something deeper and more complete. Because true kindness isn't the absence of darkness. It's the integration of every aspect of who you are into a whole person. If what you're hearing resonates with you, and you're serious about transforming your life before this year ends, hit that subscribe button now. At Motivation Dose, we deliver daily wisdom that goes beyond surface-level advice. We dig deep into truths that can genuinely change your life. Subscribe now and join thousands who are on the path to authentic growth. Let's continue. When Jung spoke of the shadow, he wasn't referring to something abstract. He meant a real psychological force we all carry, a place where we hide what we believe is unacceptable, our anger, our deepest desires, our right to say no. For those who identify as inherently kind, the shadow becomes terrifying. Their entire identity is built around being the light, always helping, never failing. The thought of having a dark side fills them with dread. But this denial comes at a heavy price. Repressed energy doesn't disappear. It transforms. It emerges in ways we can't control. As resentment after helping someone who never reciprocates. As silent anger when boundaries are crossed. As deep sadness when no one sees our needs. According to Jung, the shadow isn't our enemy. It's an essential part of our inner world. It holds not just our negative traits, but also our unclaimed power, our ability to set healthy boundaries and stand up for ourselves. Let us talk about the cost of blind kindness. Blind kindness extracts a steep price, paid not just in emotional exhaustion, but in delayed dreams, unbalanced relationships, and a half-lived life. Think of someone who has made self-sacrifice their identity. This person doesn't just give their time and energy. They give away essential pieces of themselves. Every time they ignore their own needs, silence their voice to keep peace, or say yes while their soul screams no, they're paying with fragments of their essence. The modern martyr doesn't wear a visible crown of thorns. Their suffering takes the form of sleepless nights, worrying about others' problems, relationships where they always give more than receive, and schedules so full of commitments to others that no space remains for themselves. This pattern of self-sacrifice often has deep childhood roots. Perhaps you were the good child, keeping peace in your family. Maybe you learned your worth depended on how much you did for others. These early lessons become invisible chains, binding us to self-destructive behaviors. Integrating the shadow isn't comfortable. It's a journey demanding courage, honesty, and willingness to face what we've long avoided. This process begins by acknowledging that our excessive kindness has often been a form of avoidance, avoiding conflict, rejection, judgment. Behind every act of excessive kindness hides a fundamental fear, the fear of not being loved for who we truly are. Transformation requires a particular kind of bravery. We must be willing to disappoint those who've grown accustomed to our unconditional availability. It's like rewriting an invisible contract with the world. I'll be authentic, even if that means I won't always please you. Integrating the shadow doesn't mean becoming cruel. On the contrary, it means developing a kindness that's more powerful and real. The difference between a weak flame any breeze can extinguish and a strong fire that gives warmth without being consumed. Establishing healthy boundaries is essential to psychological development. Yet for those who've built their identity around endless kindness, setting limits can feel like betraying their nature. Boundaries aren't walls dividing us from others. They're sacred lines defining where we end and others begin. The ability to create boundaries starts with a revolutionary act, recognizing our inherent worth, not worth based on what we give to others, but the inner value that exists simply because we are. When we begin to truly value ourselves, a new way of relating unfolds. We no longer need to earn our right to exist through excessive goodness. We see that reciprocity in relationships isn't a luxury, but a psychological necessity. Let's conclude today's discussion with the alchemy of transformation. The true alchemy begins when we allow our light and shadow to dance together, like watching two streams merge to create something entirely new, neither purely light nor purely dark. This alchemical journey starts when we stop fighting our dual nature. Jung discovered that transformation doesn't happen by eliminating our darker parts, but by allowing them to teach us. Our anger shows where we need boundaries. Our resentment points to where we've given too much. Our sadness reveals where more self-care is needed. Authentic strength emerges from this integration, not the brute force of aggression, nor weakness disguised as endless kindness, but a refined power that knows when to advance and when to retreat, when to give and when to conserve. People who achieve this integration develop a distinctive presence. They don't need to prove their goodness or power. They simply are. Their authenticity becomes their shield, their truth, their sword. The journey we've explored through Jung's wisdom isn't just a set of ideas. It's an invitation to profound transformation. A transformation that begins the moment we accept that our kindness doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful, that our power doesn't have to be feared to be respected, and that our wholeness includes both light and shadow. If you're ready to embark on this path of authentic growth and transformation, subscribe to Motivation Dose right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss our daily doses of wisdom that can truly change your life. Our channel is dedicated to those serious about personal evolution, those willing to face both their light and shadow to become truly whole. Join our community today, and let's walk this path of transformation together. Remember, you're not here to be perfect. You're here to be whole. And in that wholeness, in that integration of every part of you, you'll find not just the strength to create the life you dream of, but the wisdom to live it with authenticity and true power. Subscribe now. Transform your life. Embrace your wholeness.